Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily, and today we are going to be working on a project that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. I think I really started working on it like a year ago and I dropped it. I don't know why. So we're going back to it. I would say it's in progress, but it's really not. I haven't actually started it. I've just started visualizing and I bought the yarn for it, but not one single stitch is complete on this project. So we're gonna do it. It's time. What we are going to do is a tapestry of a Horde flag from World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft, you can either pick the Alliance side or the Horde side. My boyfriend has been playing World of Warcraft forever and ever, and he has always been on the Horde side. I started playing with my boyfriend, and I have always been on the Horde side. So a year or so ago, my boyfriend requested a tapestry of a Horde flag that he could put up in his game room. So I am going to do that. I started working on this last year, as in I made a grid pattern for the tapestry. In hindsight, I wish I had done it a little bit differently, so that's where I'm going to start with this project. I drew the grid in Procreate, and I wish I had done it in Excel because Excel is a little bit more familiar to me in terms of just marking off my progress, I guess, and I would prefer to follow the grid on Excel. And I'll show you why right now. Here is my grid in Procreate. It is not the easiest thing to look at, as I'm sure you can tell. So what I'm gonna do is count all the boxes and move my pattern over to Excel. I think that will make it easier. Also, I know that Stitch Fiddle exists. I'm sure it's a fantastic solution. I've seen a lot of people create tapestries and follow grids from Stitch Fiddle. Why don't I want to use it? I don't know. I'm stubborn and I like to do things on my own, even when that is not the most helpful thing for me to do. So I'm going to transfer this into Excel and I'm going to create my tapestry based on my Excel grid. Also, I didn't find any grids that were already available on Google or Pinterest or anything. I've never seen the Horde flag or kind of anything World of Warcraft in crochet. I'm sure someone's done it, no doubt someone has done it. They probably just didn't post about it. So not saying I'm the first to do it, but maybe I'm gonna be the first YouTube video about it. Anyway, I'm gonna turn this into an Excel sheet. Probably won't be very fast, so I will let you know when I'm done and I will show you my Excel sheet, and it's gonna look so much prettier than this does right now. Okay, that took me a half an hour, really not bad. Here she is in Excel. On camera, probably doesn't look necessarily easier to follow, but for me, for sure. Because the other thing that I can do now is when I complete a row, I will be able to delete the row. What I did is I made a master sheet, and then I have a second tab that is a working sheet. And so I can do whatever I want to it and I won't lose my original pattern because it's on the master sheet. And as I go along, I can delete the rows I've done, and then the bottom row is just always my working row and it's not confusing. So I will not have to find, the exact row that I'm on and what stitch. It's just going to be at the bottom and easily identifiable. So now I just need to get started. I have a bunch of black and red yarn. I'm going to use cotton yarn. This is Loops and Threads Classic Cotton. The reason I'm using cotton, even though this isn't like a wearable, is because cotton just seems to come out cleaner than acrylic. Acrylic is like a little bit fuzzier, so the image, I just don't think it's as clean. So I'm going to use cotton and see how it looks. I will update you once I have maybe 5 or 6 rows done, because my first 3 or 4 rows is just black, which is boring. So as soon as I introduce the red, I will let you know. Future video editing, Emily here. I was just looking for photos of the flag to put up to show you guys like what it looks like in the video game, and the colors are reversed. The flag is always red and the image is black. I don't know why I reversed it when I designed it. I found unofficial versions of the flag where like people have made them themselves with the red as like the image and the black as the background. So I don't know what made me do that, but it's backwards. The colors are backwards compared to the video game. So it's just a little bit more original. Okay, I have moved to my living room so that I can use my coffee table. You'll see why in a second, but here we are. I'm on row 9, I think. Got a couple of color changes in here. Things are looking a little crazy. I'll show you how I'm keeping my yarn organized and the color changing method I'm using, which is where the table comes into play. So I'll show you that. Okay, so this is the setup. I have a separate skein for every color change that's occurring basically. So if I flip this over, you can see like I'm using this one to build up the black on this side. I'm using this one to build up the red that's going to go up this. I have this black for the black in the middle, this red for the other red side, and then this black is supplying this black side. So when I switch over, basically I just flip, and then all of my yarn kind of goes like this down the line. And then if we pull all of our strings, they are not tangled and they are ready for the next row. So that's how I'm going about color changing. The reason I'm color changing this way instead of carrying my yarn through is a couple of reasons. One, if I was carrying the black and the red throughout the whole thing, the red would definitely show through on the black stitches, which is just a look that I don't really like. It's way less clean in my opinion. And then the other thing that I've noticed is if I carry yarn in some places and not others, so say when I'm going from black to red to black and I carry just the black through the red section will end up kind of puffed up because it has extra yarn going through it. So then the tapestry isn't flat, which is a look that I don't really like. And then the other thing that I'm kind of avoiding is floating yarn. I want to keep my tapestries as clean as possible, so I don't like to float my yarn in the back of my tapestries just because I think it's fun to be able to flip it over and it's the same on both sides. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be hung up on a wall, so all of the floating yarn isn't even going to be seen. But for some reason, this is just my preference. I want it to look as clean as possible, so I'm going to take the steps and use the methods that allow for that to be possible. Halfway point check-in. I'm about to be able to start on the part with a bunch of red, so I'll have a little bit less color changing to do. I did carry my red yarn a little bit right here. It just made sense with how I had to carry. I didn't want to do another skein just to like handle this middle section. So I think from afar, it won't be noticeable, but I'm happy with how it's coming out so far. On this side, it's also pretty clean. You can see some of my carries, but she's looking good. I feel like she's gonna be a little bit smaller than I was thinking, but that's okay. She is done. I am so happy to be done. I'm going to block it next. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of like waving on the edges because the stitches, for me at least, get tighter as I am adding, like doing color changes and stuff. Also, things like this, like the corner is folded up, so I'm gonna block it and then obviously need to weave in my ends. You can tell once I weave in my ends though, it's gonna be like a perfectly clean mirror image. So that's kind of cool. It's what I was going for. I did carry my yarn in a couple of places, like this middle piece. I didn't want to have a floating string or piece of yarn for like black and then red and then black again. So I just carried the same black throughout the whole middle. So it's carried in the middle, but it doesn't really bother me. It would have bothered me more so, I think, if I had carried the black across the red. The whole thing would have, I don't know, would have looked like this. I don't know. I don't know why I don't want that look. It would have turned out okay, I think. But the other thing is this part is thicker than the rest. So this like waving that you see on the side from the tighter stitches, that would have happened a little bit more drastically, I guess, across the whole thing if I had carried the black through. So I didn't. But yeah, I'm going to block it so that it's flat, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. My boyfriend had originally requested for the flag to somehow look tattered because it's never in good shape when you see it in the video game. It's always very worn. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to add kind of like fingers of like yarn to the bottom, like just maybe single crochet or like chain down the bottom and then like single crochet back up, and then do like a couple of stitches and kind of try to like round it out, and then do it again but like at a different length and just kind of see how that turns out. I'm worried it's gonna look like it's dripping instead of being tattered. So that's just gonna be trial and error, and I will let you guys know how that goes. But for now, I'm going to soak this in water and dry it out most of the way and then put out a blocking board so that it can be flat and crisp. Here is the aftermath of all of the skeins of yarn that I used, by the way. I finished a black skein, and then I have this little ball left. This one's pretty full, and then here's all of my reds that were used in varying degrees. By the way, just sharing the struggles of tapestry crochet, somewhere in the middle here, I think it's because it looks so mirrored for a few rows, like it's really similar. Somewhere in the middle, I flipped my direction when following my grid pattern. So like my right side and wrong side got flipped. So for like 3 rows, I was doing the pattern backwards, and then I got to a more like distinctive row and realized that something was wrong. And so it took me like, I don't know, 15 to 30 minutes of just like staring at the tapestry and wondering what was wrong. And I just felt insane because I felt like I fully like forgot how to do it. I really just sat there like wheels turning, wondering if I had had a stroke or like if it was all just a dream that I thought I knew how to do this. It was so concerning. But I did figure it out. I had to frog like 3 or 4 rows and start them over. And then from there, I just paid really close attention to my right and wrong side as I went along. So just if that gives you any peace of mind, tapestry crochet looks really clean at the end and can look simple at times, or seem simple because it's just single crochets, but it can throw you through a loop. I don't know what happened, but we made it in the end. All right, final reveal. I blocked it so it's a little bit cleaner. I added these kind of like free form little like fingers to the bottom to make it look like it's been like ripped or tattered. Because like I said, the flag is never like in good shape in the game. So I think it came out really good. I undid and redid this part like multiple times because as I was going along, I thought I was making it look random. And then it would have like a short triangle, a long triangle, a short triangle, a long triangle, a short triangle. And I'm like, wait, that's too uniform. So I undid it and added like a really long one randomly and stuff. But I'm gonna give this to my boyfriend tonight and he will put it on his wall somewhere, I assume, and then I will show you footage of it actually like posted up on a wall as a proper flag. I'm really excited to be done with this. It was something that I wanted to make for a really long time, so I'm super glad that it's done. Yay! For the Horde, my friends. Okay, I just hung this temporarily. I'm sure my boyfriend will move it one day. I just wanted to see it up on the wall, but I just put it up with some thumbtacks. It looks so good. It's really what I was going for. I'm very proud of the bottom being like free-handed. Yay, I'm so excited. Alrighty, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me to make this tapestry. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!